So what's up, everyone? And we are back with Rob Dukes, and we are going to be talking. We've been talking about Shovel-Headed Kill Machine, and
44 Magnum Opus. You ever done that one?
No, we haven't done that one.
You need to throw that in the fucking set, dude. You got to get Tom. Tom's got to play that. Dude, that song is...
But I've heard that many times. I mean, I love the song, but I've heard them bring that up, but it's the set lists are wars to get those.
I know they are, man.
So, it starts at one, there's a draft, and then there's another draft, and then this person has to okay it, and by the time it gets...
We used to end with that, going right into Shovel-Headed Kill Machine and end the show, dude. And it was just, people were just, it would just pummel them into submission.
It pummels them. And now, your first tour singing that stuff live, how was that for you?
Awesome.
You had no problems with it?
No, I did. So, like I said, Death Amphetamine, 100 shows. So we went on tour.
So you played it every show. That was because, to me, that's the best song.
It was one of the best songs, but it also
ever.
It was like I convinced him. I was like, dude, all right, I'm fucking it up. Nobody's even heard it before. Who gives a fuck? Like, just I'll figure it out. Just let me figure it out. Just leave me alone. I'll figure it out.
Leave me alone. Famous words, Mike Muir. Damn right.
I'll figure it out. So, even if I stopped breaking my balls. So I remember we did the U.S. tour, and then we immediately went to Europe for 3 months. We were on tour with Hypocrisy. So me and Peter, best friends, like immediately, man. He's on my tour bus every night, or I'm on his. We're hanging out, and he said to me, he says, dude, just keep doing it. You'll get it. But I wasn't smart enough at this point to figure out what the fucking problem was. I thought it was just me. And then I did the same thing you did. I broke it down with math and said, oh, this one's starting on the and. So I actually I wrote the lyrics out in full with a big Sharpie on a big piece of paper. And I would write and 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. You know what I mean? And I wrote it, and that would be next to my set list because that was the
just
only,
for that song.
It was the only song that gave me trouble. Everything else was actually that's not true. Fabulous gave me trouble because it was fast. Because I wasn't. Look, man, I'd never done this before. You know what I mean? So
okay, now recording Fabulous, because if you notice, when the missiles are falling, that comes in on the 7, not the 8.
Yeah, it comes in.
And
a
when
little
Gary
before.
was trying to tell me that.
Right.
It was like they were even standing in the window, and I'm missing
missiles,
when the missiles. It's it. When
missile
the
is
missile,
one.
and I swear to God, I had all of them like when we recorded that, like a fucking like cheerleaders doing me, and I'm like, when the missile is, because that's a fucking trippy thing.
So when we did Death Amphetamine, there was nothing of that. I was winging it by the seat of my pants. That's why it ended up that way. Because I was just trying to fit the syllables in the sentence, in the line. So that's why it was never talked about, oh, this comes in on the and, or this is just fit that sentence into this space. So that's what all of it was seat of the pants. Shovel-Headed Kill Machine. There's that have you ever done that song?
No, we haven't done that, but I know it.
So Shovel-Headed Kill Machine, the second verse, there's like a snare thing. And you come in on 3, not 4. You come in on the beat before, and if you don't, you're fucked.
Then the whole thing's
because
ruined.
the whole thing is one fucking sentence. There's not even a breath in there.
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean. So by the time the Hypocrisy tour ended, I was styling. I got it. I figured it all out. So I'd done now 100 shows. The problem is that my nerves were fine once I got going, but I couldn't eat during the day before the show because I would throw up. When I started dry heaving when I heard when the I could hear the crowd.
The intro music or what?
No, I hear them guys doing the drum sound
takes. Really?
I was.
What was it? Well, what do you think it was?
Man.
Really?
Just fucking nerves.
Nerves because of? Did you have a fear of walking out or talking to the crowd, or because you'll feed famous people to this day that like have to have a drink or they can't walk out and face that.
I don't have that option. Never been tattooed high or nothing either. Yeah. So what it was it was just nerves, and then I'm gonna say for the first. A couple years, man. And then the bigger shows would do it to me. Iron Maiden, we opened for Iron Maiden in Chile. That did it. Wacken,
that's a great show.
The Wacken one,
Really?
Dude, I walked up. I'll never forget. I walked up. We were walking up the steps, and as you walk up the steps of Vaki, it's those grates, and you can see the crowd through the fucking steps.
Yes.
And I just went, and I threw up my coffee and all the water I'd had up to that moment because I hadn't eaten yet because I knew don't eat before a show. Because when I throw up, I don't want liquid's okay, but I don't want food coming up.
I'm the same way.
Tear my
I've
throat up.
always made that rule.
So
never eat before.
And I hate it because it would make your throat rock, But,
totally.
So I tried not to throw up, but I just couldn't do it. I just gag and fucking, and then so for like the first year of touring, man, I threw up before every show, and those guys would all giggle because once the fucking the
intro music
music started, fucking the fucking Kevin and all the tech guys would have a garbage can behind the amps, and then hand me my microphone. I'd hand me my microphone, or most of the time, I liked a cord. I didn't like a wireless. So it was just one of those things, and eventually it kind of went away, and it would come out at the bigger shows, like, and the deal when you're coming out to a bigger show, like I always stepped up, like I would feel nervous, but as soon as I yelled that first, "What's up, motherfuckers?" like all that went away, and the weird thing about being a singer or being an entertainer or being a musician is that the fans see you in a certain way, and they don't. Because you are kind of like a character a little bit. Like
you are a character.
That's not... I mean, just because I act that way on stage, like I remember... I used to read the comment... When I first started doing this, I read all the comments. And then at one point, I just had to stop.
Yeah, that's number one rule.
Yeah, but I didn't follow that rule for years. For like a year or two, man, right?
I had to teach my children that rule, believe
stop
me.
Fucking... Who cares?
Who cares?
What they say, don't.
That's
who
right.
gives a fuck?
That's right.
So I had to, but for a while,
sure,
I did.
and I could see how it would because
I never did it before.
Right, that's right.
Fuck, man, I like the adulation, but I didn't like the shit.
Everybody's
got their own fucking opinion.
That's right. Oh yeah.
And they see you as I'm not a tough guy. I don't even claim to be a tough guy. I'm heavily tattooed. I shaved my head. I shaved my head because I had a bald spot and I didn't want to have long hair and a bald spot. I think that's a dumb look. I didn't want to do that for myself, so I grew my hair long at one point, gave it to kids with cancer, and then I fucking shaved it off. You know what I mean? So, and I didn't care. Like, it just became this thing where people were very, very. They didn't like me, and I just at one point I was like, I need to stop. This is.
Yeah.
I already don't like myself. I don't need you shitting on me.
You can't pay attention to that. So, you really can't.
I had a couple run-ins with fans and shit, like but nobody's ever said anything to my face. It's always been online. Nobody's ever come up to my face and said, "Dude, I hate your vocals, man. They're fucking terrible." Nobody's ever said that.
Right.
Not once.
And they never will.
And 99.9% of the people that shit on us don't even fucking know us.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And it's like, and that coming into this part of life, and especially now that social media is what it is, because it was never like this in the 80s. We had tape trading, and that was it. I didn't care what your fucking opinion was.
Yeah.
But now it's like everybody can chime in. You can go to any forum, even on this show, they can chime in and leave their comments on that. So, you've let them get more inside and closer, and they think as you inch in, they're going to test you on that. So I've learned a long time ago when we first got Hatebreed together, the kids like yourself, man, they'd see something good, and then they'd read the one thing out of maybe 20 or 30 things that were bad, go, you know what, fuck this and fuck this. Like, number one rule, you don't read the good if you're not going to like the bad. And it's just like that.
I had to tell my mom, please do not answer back on the comments on Blabbermouth.
Yeah,
please.
right. Well, that's the worst. They'll just leave you out
please
there,
don't do
hang you out
Mom,
to fucking dry.
Just leave it alone, Mom. It's good. It's fine. It is what it is.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, and that's the thing. And it's the people around you, like, my girlfriend will read shit and go, what the fuck is this person's like?
Yeah.
You know what? If you're not pissing anybody off, then you're not doing something fucking right. And you know what I mean? So,
yeah, man.
Well, too bad for them.
And I loved hanging out with the fans because you got to remember, Zach, I mean, I was a fucking fan. I just got lucky. I was in the right place, right time with just enough talent to pull it off. Do you know what I mean? But I was a fan, so I identified with every single dude. I remember me and Paul getting in a fight one night, like not a fight, but an argument, and right before he quit, and it was because we were on tour with Hatebreed. I fucking love Hatebreed.
I love Hatebreed.
I was stage diving during their set. During their set, at one point, I'd come running across and I'd dive into the crowd, and then I know all their songs. I was singing all. I was in the front, in the pit. And they're like, you can't be doing that. I'm like, why the fuck not?
I don't see the other three saying that. I mean, Gary, I think that's cool that you jump out and hang out.
Gary never, no, man. Paul was the only one who thought that it was. He was like, well, fucking Chris broke his rib once in the tour. So I'm like, well, if I break a rib, I'm not going to sing. Like that's dumb. What am I not going to live my life? And dude, when we were on tour with Hypocrisy, I was in that pit and in front of that crowd every night. And Peter would fucking see me all the time, and he'd be like, fucking, and that's why me and Peter ended up being really close friends to this day. I mean, I talked to Peter last week.
Oh, you did? How's he doing?
He's awesome, man.
Good.
He's doing really good. Man.
He was here for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He was the first singer in Craig LaCicero's band, Dress the Dead.
No shit.
He was here.
No, you're talking. I'm talking Peter from Hypocrisy.
Oh, Peter from Hypocrisy.
Yeah, you're talking Peter Dolving. Yeah, Peter Dolving, I know Peter Dolving too. I talk to him occasionally. So fans.
They're there.
And I'm one of them.
But I am too, and I get that, and I totally understand where they're coming. But again, they don't know you, like you said, so they look at you and see this, and this.
Well, it's hard to sing Exodus with a smile on your face.
But you don't sing Exodus with a smile on your face.
It's better. You're singing about fucking Satan and
the
priest fucking kids.
Exactly.
Did you ever do the song about the Catholic Church, the fucking Altered Boy? Did you guys ever try that?
We haven't done Altered Boy either.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I know the song. It's great. I love that.
You know what the hardest song that from my era is? Burn Hollywood Burn.
We've never played that either.
Lee won't even. Lee says he doesn't get it. Lee won't even. He won't even attempt it.
Oh well, then if he won't get it, then we'll never play it.
Attempt it. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. That's kind of how it goes sometimes.
How the fuck we recorded it too? It was just like, all right, let's just fucking, you know what I mean? But we did. Dude, my greatest moment was Slim's. We played what's the song on fucking, it's like a 10-minute song on fucking Exhibit B. We did it live.
Iconoclasm.
No, it's longer than that. Oh fuck, I don't remember the name.
On Exhibit B?
Yeah.
Beyond the Pale.
No, we played that all the time.
I love that song.
Yeah. Oh man. It's not Now That They Come. That's on Shovel. Oh, I can't remember it. Whatever.
The Sun Is My Destroyer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sun Is My Destroyer. Yeah. Right. My favorite song to sing because I did the death metal all the way to my own voice, and I did it on purpose.
That's one of my favorite ones you do, actually.
So that song we did it once live. We did it twice live. Twice live, and it was fucking.
She only got to play it twice because we do that every once in a while. We play three, then this one didn't really go over that well, and then we just dump it, and it's like, I love that. No, wait a minute, give it a chance.
Fuck.
Come on, give me a break.
Dude, that middle section of that song is my favorite, man. It's like that bluesy fucking, and then I get to, I am your God here, man.
Did you write that, or did Gary write the lyrics?
Gary wrote the lyrics. I wrote the ballad. I wrote the lyrics to the ballad, and I wrote the lyrics to Children of Worthless God and Karma's Messenger. And
so you did one or two a record then, basically.
Yeah, I did two on Exhibit B. I forgot the other one. I forgot the name of the song. But yeah, which was an honor, man. Fuck,
yeah,
man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been doing this. I was a lucky fan, dude, and I was grateful for every moment.
Well, I mean, I think destiny has everything to do with things like that. You know what I mean? And that's because I had to take care of my family at that point, and so things. So it came to that point. And then we were kind of talking a little bit about playing live. Before we go into because there's another one I want to talk about before we talk about Atrocity. Talk about playing live with Gary, because you play guitar with him everywhere. You'd like lean over and play guitar.
So I do play guitar. Matter of fact, there's actually one.
He never lets me do. I never get to do that. I know.
There's one cool
He
video.
lets me kick his pedals, and thank you for that, because now he uses that to if he makes his tech do it, but if his tech doesn't, he becomes going, Zetro, my what?
During
I don't
Strike
do
of the
it."
Beast?
No,
Do the
yeah,
wah?
but a couple of them, and he'd be like,
Do the
Duke's.
wah.
No, he'd be like, Duke's used to hit my pedals, kind of like that thing. I'm all, really?
It started
He's like,
because
yeah, I'm a fucking
he was
Rob.
he was on the other side of the stage one time, and I was like, well, I'm here. I'll fucking hit that, and good, I'll do it. And that's how it started.
Oh,
But,
because when one of my initiations back in, I guess, was to be his fucking button boy. So I mean, for the whole set, and after
So he could be in the middle, so he could have the spotlight for a second.
Wow, yeah. So
I'll give it to him. You know, we're the singers. We get
believe
all the
me.
pussy. We get all the
Believe me,
money. We get all
Believe
the
me, yeah,
street cred.
all of that stuff, all of the in that order too. By the way, all that order. But I mean, and then we were talking before we came back on
You
camera
want to know how
about
to really annoy Gary? My favorite was I'd wear my Vans. That used to drive him nuts. I'd wear
The checkered ones.
Vans. I'd wear a hockey jersey, right? And then other times, my cord would end up near his pedals. You know what I mean? Where it would just be near it, and he would try to kick it out of the way, and it would be a chord, and I'd move it, and he would try to, because he didn't want to stand on a chord while he was doing his solo, for whatever reason. It just
like his wah pedal. He wants right.
No, any pedal. If he was standing near his pedals, he didn't want a cord near him, so I would do it on purpose. I would, and I only did it once in a while, and it was just something to make myself giggle.
Yeah, I don't.
The
use
other
a
one
cord.
was I get real sweaty when I sing, and when they're doing solos, they can't move, and I would go up and I'd fucking lean on them, and I would just rub my
Drench
sweaty shit all over them, and they would be like, "Get the fuck off me!" and fucking, and I would just, dude, it was the best. It was the best.
I don't want to fuck them up on their solo song.
Fuck 'em, whatever.
I always
They'll
get
figure it
afraid
out.
to lean into them like fucking.
Fuck that.
You know what I mean?
I started playing with Lee on Shovelheaded Kill Machine. There's that middle section. Jump, 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 jump. So Lee, I would bring him a beer and I would fucking do that. And then I started doing it for Gary, and then it just became a thing that we just did. And the crowd would like go, they fucking loved it.
Yeah, they
So I'm
did,
like,
they did.
"Alright." Yeah, so that was just one of those things. And you know, one of the hardest things was like when you have like, do you guys ever play like they do like where there's like a 2 or 3 minute section where there's no vocals, and I would just go stand in front of Gary's amp and just because there's nothing.
I walk off the stage during the part in Death Amphetamine that goes down, no, no, no.
No, I never.
walk off
I used to go fuck with
part.
Tom. I would talk with Tom.
Did you guys ever do Forward March? That was on Tempo of the Dam. They have like a 8 minute lead section, and I'd go fucking make a sandwich, take a shit, come back, and they still fucking wouldn't be done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fucking.
Yeah.
But I've learned over the last couple of years to start doing that, because I feel like I'm just sitting here for 5 minutes doing nothing but banging.
I would
you know
go
what I mean?
I'd go talk with Tom. I would just jump up on the monitor or the riser and fuck with Tom, or I'd go talk with Lee or whatever the fuck they were doing. I never, but it was fun, dude. It's a fun gig.
It's fun. It's just fun to do. But I mean, so when you made mistakes, did you get your foot kicked? How does that work for you?
The first time he kicked me in the ass, and I was like, don't do that ever again, dude.
I've gotten that a few times, but it's more he'll come to me and kick my foot on the side.
After that they're fine.
I'll look over and he'll be going like this, and I'm trying to sing, and I know I'm off, but I can't understand you, because if you see that I'm singing, then I can't talk and listen at the same time.
Yeah.
So
like, I know you're yelling at me. I know you're mad. What the fuck you want me to do about it? I'll figure it out.
I know I'm gonna do a penalty shot later or whatever. You know what I mean?
It's a disappointed stepfather look. That's what he gave
so,
me all the time. Yeah.
That's funny. But I'll tell you what, very fortunate to be to play and be able to compose music with that man for as long as I've been able to. And I'm sure you could say the same thing for that time to see that he is the real deal when it
Dude,
comes down to it. I mean, guitar
I know you've had
playing,
him.
vocally, lyric writing, producer. He's just fucking
He's phenomenal.
lead playing. He really knows what he wants.
And he's a
you know what I
fucking
mean?
sweetheart, and he's just a very
he's
sweet
to everyone. You know,
and he's a very, he's very empathetic, and he's very just
very much so, and he's very family man. Loves
Yeah.
his family, and it's just like, you know.
He hates his dogs, though. I don't get that.
He doesn't have dogs. He needs dogs. That's what I keep telling him. He just bought a new house. I go, you need a dog for that new house. You know what I mean?
No, I was only fucking with. No, Gary's. Gary's. I know you've had him. Those moments on stage. There was a moment. Like there were moments. You know, it's hard to tell somebody who doesn't do it who's never done it professionally, what it feels like when you have those moments where it all comes together and you can shut off bad monitors, bad lights, bad sound, and it's the five of you, and you're locked into this thing, and you're all in it, and you all know you're in it, and it's something that's I guess it's what like people that play golf, they say, oh, you only come back for one good golf shot, man, and we would get those, you know, repeatedly every night, because you know, like in the tour when you first start, by the end of the tour, you're on fire.
You're a machine. The first 3 days, you're like, ooh.
Yeah, and you're playing, but your songs are faster, and they're on point, and they're better, and you're starting to create, you know, and that's one of the things that I carried over into Generation Kill was we were doing shows, and we were doing a bunch of live shows before we recorded the songs. So we would write songs and have the luxury of playing them live before we recorded them. So we would work out all the kinks, and we would change the spots that didn't work, and we were able to use that energy to understand. Oh, so when we went in the studio, we knew what we were doing. Like we didn't fuck around. We just kind of knew, okay, that worked and that worked. And then we did a whole fucking tour without even having a record contract and got it at the end, which is, you know, it's one of those things that I wish I had gotten the opportunity to do with Exodus, because there's, you know, even though I think as brilliant as Gary is in the formula that they have, it was always done. You know what I mean? It was
it's there's no like when you first get into a band, like when I was in Legacy, and the first album is all the songs that you played in the clubs for 2 years, you know, so you know those songs back, and you really get to season those songs, and then you get into a band and you get on this. Even back in the 80s, we were doing a record every year, every other year. You don't get the luxury of being able to do that. So you have to kind of force yourself to learn them on your own, then learn them in the 4-week rehearsal before the very first tour, and then the first songs. And it's kind of, unfortunately, like you said, it's kind of the sad thing, but the other way is better.
The 70s that's the way they had to do it in the 70s.
Exactly.
All the Rush records were done. They wrote those records
on the road
while they're in their time.
Yeah.
Like in their fucking warm-up time in the afternoon. They would write their new song. So anyway, but one of the things that I was just thinking about which was amazing, was I totally fucking brain farted on what I was going to say.
That's okay. That happened. That's all right. We can edit. We edit the show, and it's all good.
Yeah, man. It was all so, you know.
You were talking about being able to play and have to come in and learn the songs and play live.
Right. What was cool was taking, especially the Bailoff songs, and making them like a little bit your own, like changing them just a little bit, but keeping those little nuances that he did. You know, that was one of the things that he did that I didn't incorporate in my own, but I appreciated it, and I would do it, but never on purpose. I don't know, never I'm going to, you know what, he would just go up for no reason.
I'll do, you know, like, puts and seat as well as worms. Nature pin you on the desert floor. Now your hell's cuisine.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
There were certain things I did, but I didn't incorporate in my own. I just, you know, I didn't, you know, I got it. You know, I mean, I think that, you know, taking a little bit of your style, a little bit of his style, a little bit of fucking Hetfield, and a little bit of fucking Tom Araya, and a little bit of fucking Phil, and just kind of, and that's, you know, growing up on all that and having that all in my brain. But I didn't go out and say, well, I'm going to do this like Hetfield, or I'm going to do this like, I just did it. I did what the song needed, I thought, and I thought that I did it according to the lyrics, if the lyrics were angry, I sang them angry. And if they, you know what I mean,
I do the same. I kind of feel the same way, and I think Gary is a good director of that too, Rob. And I mean, I think he knows because we just finished the recent one, and he was very hands on with the vocal tone that I was using on a lot of different things, and so I think that again, I have an idea how I hear it, and there's an idea how he hears it, and I think we work it together. But I think that, to be honest, I needed that because I don't want to get one-dimensional with it, And I was like, we'll do this, and then we'll do this on top of it. I'm like, well, huh? And then I
sometimes,
did, and I'd be like,
even with sometimes thrash, there's not a lot of there's not a room for movement.
There really isn't. The words are fired off, and they're da-da-da, da-da-da, and that's what it is. Exactly.
That's exactly what it is. And that's, one of the things that Generation Kill did for me was it gave me the outlet to do other stuff.
And I agree with that because
it gave me to be rock. Now, I want to say, dude, the Tenet record was one of the, dude,
that was fun.
Dude, that was fun. To me, and I'm not shitting on anything you've ever done. That was one of the finest pieces of work you've ever done.
Very aggressive vocal approach.
It was
very
fucking
aggressive
killer.
Vocal approach. Yeah, actually, and that was something that I didn't write one word for. Jed Simon wrote that whole thing, and I just did it. Just how like you said, that was someone where I had nobody going, okay, Zed, need you to do it like this.
Zed, you guys need to go do that live somewhere.
We're trying to. We've talked about, because Glenn lives here, Alvalize, he lives here.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. I'd love to do that.
Dude,
I'd love to do that. It'd be so much fun to do.
Fucking A, man, it would be.
Because we never played one show for it. That was one of those projects where I just did a record and I never got to play live. And it was like, damn, I'd love to do some of these songs, and then I never.
That was one of your. I thought I was like,
thank you.
That was fucking brilliant, that record. And so Generation Kill, we're almost done with our record too. So
yeah, and I've actually played I played 3 tracks of that today you gave me, and again I've listened to the past stuff. You do so much killer vocal shit in there. It's like I mean I hate to say that Exodus kind of choked you. I mean your vocals, it didn't do you as much justice as Generation Kill does. I mean you do some killer singing parts in there.
Yeah.
You did a little bit of it, like when I heard you fear sing through your
that was the
lies.
only time.
Yeah, but I love that was my voice. Like I was like, when I first heard it, I was like, is that Dukes? Dukes did that? I'm like, why doesn't he do more of this? And then I heard Generation Kill stuff, and I was like, wow, he does that all over the place there.
Yeah, well, so Andy Sneap. So if that record, so Gary said I can write that song. So Gary never heard it until I did it the day I did it in the studio, and he was sitting there, and Andy was, they weren't sure, but Andy was like, it's gonna work, right? And those were the first. I think I did it maybe 10 times, and he goes, he told me later, he goes, yeah, we ended up using the very first one because it had the most emotion in it. So but I was actually a little bit terrified. Not terrified, but I was actually just hesitant to bring that to the Exodus
I would have
table.
been totally.
But when it was done, Andy convinced Gary, he goes, leave it. It's fucking killer.
It is killer.
So.
And to me, I think if you're going to ask me, and I'm looking at the records from the being the previous singer and looking at him, Shovelhead was like this.
Yeah, totally.
In your face.
Yeah.
No. And then Exhibit A had some really brutal flavor to it. And when I heard Children of a Worthless God, when I heard the chorus, I was like, Dukes did that? I'm like, why isn't he doing more of this? I would have been, to be honest, when I heard it, I go, I would have never, I'd give him all that, because I would have never attempted that. Would I know what I can do vocally? I would have never tried that, and it works so great.
You did it on A Good Day to Die.
Yeah, a little bit, and I gotta say that I wasn't all that comfortable with that. Although I love that song, I just wasn't all that comfortable with that. And I felt that, like you said, Exodus needs to be, like then. And I didn't feel that. Although I do love "Good Day to Die," and I love the song. The lyrics were very personal to me,
right.
And so it had a lot. But when I heard that, I felt that by Exhibit A, you had now really found yourself in the band on your own, and those songs were. This was now your band, and you sang quite well.
I think bringing Tom in solidified that. Also, I think bringing Tom back was key to that whole process. And then also, have you ever read Malcolm Gladwell's book about you need like 10,000 hours to so basically you need 10 years or 10,000 hours to be a master at something. And
I'll agree with that though.
So like the Beatles, they cut their teeth in Hamburg for 18 months being the house band, playing for 10 hours a day for fucking 18 months. And they did 10 years of touring in 18 months. And that's why the Beatles, when they first started, they were like this bubblegum shit band, which I can't stand. But by the time they got to fucking Let It Be, man, they were fucking...
Oh, yeah.
The game had changed.
White Album, Sgt. Pepper's.
The game had changed.
Magical Mystery Tour, Yellow Submarine.
And that's what it does. So by me touring... like coming out of the gate, and this is like an amazing risk that Gary and the boys took, bringing me into a situation that I'd never been in before. And just for whatever reason, I personally think they were just fucking lazy and didn't feel like going through the fucking tapes that they were getting for people to audition. I think that's what it was. I think it was pure laziness. Because it wasn't the fact that I walked in and was like fucking mind blowing. That wasn't the way it was. It was. I think they just or
they clicked with you, like you said, and
that part of it too.
And they felt with it, and as well as this band, as I do, that we're all very close. You're not going to be in this band and be the fifth member that sits out. Everybody kind of does everything
except for Jack, man. Fuck Jack.
Fuck Jack. I love him. That's my boy. Did a great job on the new record, by the way. He did. He did. He really nailed it. He's actually. Because back in the day, and I take nothing away from Rob McKillop. He was the original bass player. But if I could have had Jackie on those albums, oh my God.
Me and Jack, and Jack, I lived at his house for 4 months when we made that record. And we hung out every day. On tour, we hung out.
Where did you record Atrocity, the first one?
The first
Exhibit
one?
A.
We did...
not at Juan's this time, right?
No, Andy came in. We did it at... where did we rehearse?
Oh, at Soundwave.
Soundwave, but the old building.
Right, Al Lucchese's old studio.
Not the one where the rehearsal space is, where Faith No More is, the other building, because the rehearsal spot was...
Oh, that's right, yeah.
We were next to it, so it was Faith and us, so we were next door.
Right.
And then in the other building, we set up these 3 rooms, and I did it all there.
Oh,
I was much more prepared for that record, too, because like I said, I came in, I was working, and then all of a sudden I came to LA on my motorcycle, and then boom, did the record, you know what I mean? And...
How much time in between Shovel-Headed Kill Machine and Exhibit A did you take any time off when you came back home, or was Gary writing it?
Dude, we were fucking...
Did you come like boom, boom?
We toured and toured and toured for fucking 2 years, I think. Yeah, 2 years. Just toured everywhere. And I got to go all over the world, man. It was amazing. Wow. So, me and Jack, because Jack didn't drink, or not much, and I didn't drink, so the rest of the boys would get fucked up after the show. I'd go to bed. I would just put on earplugs or headphones, and I'd read a book, and I'd go to bed. I read a lot on tour, man. I would bring 10 or 12 books with me on tour because you couldn't get them in English in Europe. So I would stuff my bag with books, and I just read. But me and Jack would go... We would go everywhere, man. We went to all these castles, and
he loves that type of stuff.
So we would go. We went to Coliseum. I went to Morrison's grave. I did something every day with Jack. We were always going on adventures and going and checking out something cool. And never did we like sleep in. Every once in a while, but we were all about that. And then so me and Jack were always real tight on tours, always, and then of course there were the late nights with Altus. You know what I mean?
The
fucking...
oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I didn't drink, but I would watch Lee put everyone to sleep.
Everyone.
And then I would sit with him till 8, 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning sometimes. Me and Lee were I was the tightest with Lee after, 10 years, but it would just... We both loved hockey, and we both just, I would
except
just
the teams you like are the biggest, farthest away.
It was the best, dude. We fucking
the rivalry.
Oh, dude, I wore a fucking Rangers. We were playing in Philly, and the Rangers were playing Philly that night. He was wearing his. I was wearing. People were spitting on me, dude.
I bet they were.
I was fucking spitting on
Philly
back.
fans.
Fuck
I
you.
bet they were.
I was wearing a Rangers jersey in Philly. Yeah.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, man. I didn't fuck around. Fuck them fucking Flyer douchebags.
My brother's a Flyers fan. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He's been forever.
So
but
in the
it's-
West Coast, I don't really give a fuck. I could really care. I don't have any real.
I
hatred for
became a
anyone.
Flames fan because I started watching hockey in 85, 86.
You've been to Calgary 3 times.
I've never even been to Calgary. We never played there since I've been there. I'm
I've
sorry,
played
Calgary.
there.
I love your team, but I've never been there. I'm going to be there maybe soon. Who knows?
Yeah.
And I go, so I'm going to watch Wayne Gretzky's team. And everybody, who are they? They're the Oilers. Yeah. So I start watching this hockey game, and they're playing the Flames. And the Flames are just working them. And it was back in the day of Joel Otto, Jim Poplinski, fucking Dana Merzen, Joey Mullen, Mike Vernon, Gary Suter, Gary Roberts, Al McGinnis, when they were just powerhouse.
Yeah.
So I became a Flames fan. And then that year they went to the Cup, lost to the Canadians. And then so now I'm hooked. Now it's 87, 88, 89. 89, they win the Cup. They play Montreal, they win the Cup. So then, the Bay Area's going to get a team.
Right.
The San Jose Sharks, 1991. And I'm like, my team just won the fucking Cup 2 years ago. So I'm like, what am I going to do?
Can't do it.
I'm going to be a Sharks hater, so I'm a Sharks hater, so I don't give fuck them. Fuck them, because we're in the same right there. So I need them to lose so I can win. So, yeah, so I just...
I watch every game. I get that.
So do I have the center ice.
Center ice. I watch. I DVR every game. I watch every Ranger game.
games.
I watch all the highlights. I watch the after game. I watch every team. I spend my. That's
Yeah,
how
I like watching hockey.
Yeah, man.
How about my punk Matthew Tkachuk? You love him, isn't he a great player?
I do like him. I wish the Rangers went after him at one point.
Yeah.
But now they're rebuilding. They're going to be badass in a year. I give them a year.
Let's hope hockey play. Well, they're going to start
January 1st.
January 1st. I hope.
I don't know,
we'll
man.
see.
So the NHL wants 13% more of their salary going to escrow, and the players are like, "Go fuck yourself. You wrote the rule," and then now, so it might not happen. We might not have hockey this year.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with Rob Dukes.